There is no doubt that sustaining high-level political momentum is key to achieving the goal of stopping and reversing deforestation. Guyana sees the coming year as being vital for global efforts on forests, with Brazil's hosting of the next UN Climate Summit bringing much-needed focus to this priority. For Guyana, the good news is that forest countries and communities are not lacking in ambition. What they need is to be able to access practical pathways to realize that ambition. And so countries in the Forests and Climate Leaders Partnership, as well as others, are already advancing a menu of solutions. Guyana believes that opportunity must be created in the coming year to go further and faster to push the agenda to save forests, and the UK agrees.
I am incredibly honoured that the UK will be taking on this leadership role alongside Guyana, a country that is home to some of the most globally significant forests and is a pioneer on forest finance. And I really look forward to working with Minister Bharat on this vital agenda. The reason I'm so honoured is that forests are obviously essential for our climate, for biodiversity, for our health and prosperity, and crucially for the livelihoods of people around the world. And we all know our forests are in peril, and we also know that we need to work together as a world to protect and restore them. The latest UNEP emissions gap report shows that action on forests could deliver 20% of what is required by 2030 and 2035 to keep the 1.5 degree goal within reach, but achieving it means reducing deforestation rates 4 times faster than we currently are.
To explain the importance of Guyana co-chairing the partnership, I spoke with climate economist Pradeepa Bholanath, who is attending the UN Climate Summit here in Baku.
In 2021 at COP26, the Conference of Parties 26 of the level of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, it was a very momentous occasion for the world. The Glasgow Leaders Declaration came into being, and Guyana signed on to that declaration. What that declaration essentially means for the world is that there is a commitment to keep deforestation rate low and to halt and reverse deforestation by 2030. Guyana has been one of the leading countries in that, not only because we've maintained low deforestation rates over many decades of utilization, never exceeding 0.07%, but also because we've maintained over 99% of our forest cover. And in Guyana, we have about 18 million hectares of forest. So at COP26 in Glasgow, Guyana signed the Glasgow Leaders Declaration, embodying that global commitment and committing to doing our part in helping other countries also along the way. Coming out of that Glasgow Leaders Declaration, the Forest Leaders Partnership was formed, and there is a big focus on creating capacities and engagement across forest countries. So the FCLP, the Forest Climate Leaders Partnership, came into being as part of that whole thinking on moving forward and taking forward the Glasgow Leaders Declaration. Guyana, over the course of the last 2 years, have been working quite strongly within that partnership, and we have co-chaired the carbon market subgroup. We've been the lead in that aspect, partly because of the work that Guyana has been doing on carbon markets and sharing that experience across the world and how we take this forward in terms of the program on climate finance. At this Conference of Parties meeting, COP29 of the UNFCCC in Baku, Azerbaijan, Guyana is now the co-chair of the entire FCLP, the Forest Climate Leaders Partnership. And together with the United Kingdom, we are now able to take forward not just work on carbon markets, but the entire program of work on the FCLP. Yesterday at the meeting of the FCLP, what we've seen is the reference made by the United Kingdom as well as Ghana in terms of recognizing Guyana's pioneering work. The UK Secretary of State, Ed Miliband, pointed to Guyana's pioneering work on forests, maintaining forest cover, as well as implementing Guyana's low carbon development strategy. And the President of Ghana also pointed to the exemplary work that Guyana has been showing other countries in terms of how forest conservation, sustainable forest management, how these could be key instruments to ensure that forests globally are maintained and protected. So Guyana looks forward to taking the co-chair position in the FCLP over the next few years and having that also be a means through which we engage with other countries and partner with other countries as we protect the world's forests.
With its long history of forest conservation, Guyana is well placed to co-chair the Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership. This is Daniel Swain reporting for the newsroom from Baku.